his son was a tight end. He had great hands, ran the right route every time. Honest to goodness, I didn't even have to look or didn't have to see him to know he was running the right route, and I could get it to him. But yeah, the dude at Bessemer. I mean, I'm talking just throw it at those Coke bottles. I got a better chance of snatching that football than he did. He dropped a touchdown against Cherryville. Of course, the coaches called a pass for him, and wide open. We ran a play action, tight end down, running towards the end zone by himself, and I threw it. And he caught it. It hit his hands about at his knees, and he dropped it, and he said, I threw it too low. I said, you were 45 yards away when that ball hit your hands. You could have stepped one step closer, maybe. I mean, it was just stupid. He's wide open. But anyway, Tanner, that's how you're supposed to answer the questions. I was on the 2 state championship baseball teams that got to the state championship. That's how you answer that. In fact, I do the same thing. I was on 2 Final Four teams in basketball. Didn't play a minute for either one of them, but I was on 2 Final Four teams. My senior year where I played, we didn't make the Final Four.
It's all about how you use your words.
Right, yeah.
And it's all about storytelling.
Yeah.
Because I tell you a story doesn't mean
bigger.
I have to tell you everything about that story. It's how I want to tell you the story. That's exactly right.
Tanner, history is written by the winners, not the losers. So you can tell your own story however you want. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Just messing with our intern, Tanner, trying to get him to talk, say something. He says he's a rapper, and I can't get him to talk. It's the craziest thing ever. Lay down some rhymes, open the show. What you want to do, Tanner? Welcome to the show. Nothing. Just going to drink your drink. All right. Well, you folks at home. We're going to talk a little NFL with Zach, get Zach's reactions over the weekend. We're going to talk NBA. We're going to talk some all-time stuff, some fun stuff, some comparisons. Just have a little fun today. You know, Hunter, it's almost, the last 2 weeks were about the funnest weekends in football of the year.
Yeah.
And then now we're about to get into the time of the year where sports is the most boring time of the year.
God, yeah.
We have no college, no NFL football. We have the middle of the basketball season.
Not even middle.
No baseball. Well, we're past the quarter mark.
Okay, so barely.
So
barely.
We're past the quarter mark in that. We have no baseball yet to talk about.
Nope.
We have no NASCAR yet to talk about.
Nope.
So we basically got a month here of one thing at a time. So next week we'll have Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. The following week is All-Star Weekend. And the following week after that is Daytona 500 Weekend. And then, of course, college basketball picking up near March. And, of course, for us having high school sports, we're going to be busy as crap for the next 3 months or so. But that's fine. But as far as the national sports goes, I mean, we're getting to a part of it's all speculation. Like, I'm just looking through stuff to talk about today. There's a story. 17 teams that could try to trade for Deshaun Watson. Like,
yeah.
17?
Right. We talked about how many possible quarterback openings there might be.
Listen,
so that
I
kind
love
of filters
how,
with that.
What was our number last week? 13 or 14?
It was close. And I love how it's only Deshaun Watson that they're talking about.
Like Matthew Stafford's not available.
As if the Detroit Lions and Matt Stafford have not both said, okay, we'll trade you.
For a lot less.
You know who I think
we would think.
The sleeper for Aaron Rodgers is? If he wants out?
Who?
Raiders. We talked Rams and 49ers. He lives 20 minutes from Rams Stadium. Mm-hmm. That's what the media seems to be the favorite. But if you're Green Bay, you not call Vegas and be like, give me Mariota or Derek Carr, and I'll give you Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Like, instead of just getting nothing and a draft pick or two, like, why wouldn't you want Mariota or Derek Carr?
What if they do a Peyton Manning thing, got like Denver did, send him to Denver?
Denver could. I don't think they're ready for him, though. I don't think their defense is ready. Mm-hmm. Miami's is one that if Miami gets Stafford, Deshaun Watson, or Aaron Rodgers, like Buffalo's got trouble next year.
They're popping.
Yeah, Buffalo's got trouble next year. So, like, if you're Detroit, would you not call Miami and say Matthew Stafford?
Well, this is what I've
now.
heard too. They were talking about today. I was listening to Colin come down the road, and I was coming down the road, and he was talking about how apparently there's a little bit of turmoil with the Rams right now too, and if they're going to hold on to Jared Goff,
right?
Mm-hmm. They called, of course.
So if Aaron Rodgers says, I want to come to the Rams.
Well, I know.
Goff
I'm just saying. So Jared Goff, and they paid Jared Goff early. They paid him early, but they've also, the front office apparently has called his agent to see if they can rework his contract, and the agent said, we're not giving any money back. And so now, I don't know if there's a dispute here, whether they think that Jared Goff is a guy going forward. Because here's the thing. I mean, Jared Goff can win you football games. I don't know if he'll win you the whole thing, but he'll win you football games. So that's another quarterback that we could talk about as could go anywhere else.
To me, he's the Alex Smith type. He's a
made
winner, game manager.
At his age, he's made a Super Bowl before Deshaun Watson has.
Right.
He made a Super Bowl.
And Lamar Jackson.
He made
and Baker Mayfield and all these guys.
Mm-hmm. He's made a Super Bowl for a lot of them. And it's just comes down to I don't know who wants to coach him because he seems to be the definition of a system quarterback. And I like watching Jared Goff though. I think he's got a great arm when it comes to throwing deep. It's just he's got to be in the right situation. So I feel like all the eyes obviously are on Deshaun Watson, and for good reason. A buddy of mine told me a few years ago after Deshaun Watson had a crazy year, he was like, he's going to win MVP and a Super Bowl. And I said, he might win an MVP, but ain't no way in hell he's winning a Super Bowl because he's with the organization that he's with. So if he gets out and goes to a good place, then I'll be ready to open up that conversation again. But I'll be honest, I'm not going to just say if the Jets really are his number one landing spot right now. I don't think he'll ever get to a Super Bowl there.
Yeah, he said he wanted to play for a playoff team, and you come out and say you want to play for the Jets.
The Jets have had the worst record in the NFL since he's been drafted.
They've had the worst record trying to go to the playoffs since back Joe Namath. Like, he wants to go to a playoff team?
Well, actually, hold on.
I mean, I was laughing about that. I mean, if he actually said that and then he come out with the Jets,
I just don't
even count.
I just don't understand. Like, I get it. There are going to be 3 teams, maybe 3 or 4 teams that are really going to push hard to try and get Deshaun Watson. But if I'm with some of these other teams, I would look just as quickly as Matt Stafford as I do Deshaun Watson.
Right.
I mean, that in all seriousness, that's how I look at it.
If you're a young team, you want to look at Watson.
Well, for longevity reasons.
If you got a stud defense right now, and you think you got a chance to win the Super Bowl, you're thinking Stafford or definitely Rodgers.
If I was Miami, I would pick the phone up right now and call Detroit and say, we'll trade you straight up this 3rd pick we have for Matt Stafford, because then you can get the quarterback that you want.
Stafford's only 32.
Hell, I'd give him 2 or 3.
I would take one.
Would Fitzpatrick not be the perfect backup for Matthew Stafford?
Yeah. God, yeah, they're
like
the
same player.
Same play style. Yeah,
he's
just
32
of course,
years
Matt
old.
Stafford's
If he plays to 40, you got 8 years.
I just think if he plays 5
I want you
years.
to think about that. Stafford spent 12 seasons in Detroit. Is the all-time touchdowns, yards, and wins leader, and only has like 3 playoff wins.
How many first-round picks, Zach, do we not get 5 years of starting quarterback out of? Like, I mean, how many quarterbacks get drafted in the first round and you don't get 5 picks out of it? And we're going to talk about that going forward as the closer we get to the draft. Like right now, it's looking 5-6 quarterbacks are showing right now in the first round.
They're talking about 4 in the top 10.
Think about every team that's sitting there from 10 to 20 is like, this is going to be the best draft ever for us. Like if you're on the playoff bubble,
right?
And these dodos are all picking quarterbacks in the first round, that means every person that picks a quarterback in front of you and you don't need one, you get the best player to some position. You either get the best wide receiver, best tackle, best safety, but I'm getting best something at 10. Panthers sitting there at 9. They're in a spot where, Zach,
they're sitting at 8.
At 8, you're sitting there going, do I take the 3rd to 5th quarterback, or do I use this pick and maybe even trade back for somebody that might want one?
Listen, I see a
lot
lot
of Washington's sitting there, what are y'all, 20 or something like that, and want to move to 9? That's a good trade spot right there, 9 to 19 for both teams. And y'all want a quarterback, and they might not want one.
And listen, we've got a lot of ties now with Carolina. We've hired
Marty Hurney.
Marty Hurney's with us now. We've got ties with Carolina, and that's how it looks. That's why a lot of people are saying it wouldn't be surprising if somehow the Texans and the Patriots somehow made a deal for Deshaun Watson, because there are so many Patriot ex-members a part of the Houston, and then this vice versa. They have ties of guys that used to be in the building.
They used to be in the building. But Washington's GM, I believe it was, drafted Matthew Stafford. So that's very interesting.
Listen.
Very interesting. If he goes to Washington,
when I heard that, it perked my ears up. It really did. I would give Detroit our first round pick this year, 19th. That's fine because they're still in
this year and next year.
I give them this year and next year.
Because if you get Stafford, you're probably going to win the division.
I think we win the division easily.
You're going to have a mid-20s pick
because you got the Giants that are still trying to figure everything out. They're still super young, and is Daniel Jones going to be the guy? Dallas doesn't know what they're doing with Dak Prescott yet, and then the Philadelphia situation. If Matt Stafford or any competent quarterback that's not on one foot lands in Washington, we're the best team in that division.
Well, I wanted to talk. I've got a bunch of little fun notes here, and if I don't really break down the games and everything, because it's obviously not till next week.
Right.
But
We got a
I want
ways
to talk
to
about
go.
Super Bowl history. Zach, Tampa's at 8, Kansas City 11. That means for the 50th of 55 Super Bowls, the Super Bowl winner will be a top 12 defense. So when we go look at this next year and we start picking our teams, look at the defenses, and it weeds itself out. I want to talk Super Bowl quarterbacks and drafts. I want to talk AFC Championship games. You're talking about the Jets there. What's funny about that, Hunter?
Pretty sure the last time they made it was butt fumble Mark Sanchez.
Right, I was about to say they've made technically one of the 5 or 6 teams that's made AFC Championship games in the AFC the last 10 years. They made 2. Of course, getting beat by the Colts and Steelers.
Those were the Rex Ryan days.
Think about that. They got rid of Rex, and they ain't
This
done
just
nothing
went
since.
to shit, really.
Nothing. He's just sitting there like,
He's sitting there blabbing his mouth on television now.
So the most AFC Championship appearances. This is AFC, not the whole thing. It's Pittsburgh 1, Patriots 2, Raiders 3, Broncos 4. Tom Brady is going to more Super Bowls than every franchise has been to.
Yeah.
3 franchises have been to 8. Can you name them?
Pittsburgh. San Francisco.
Nope.
New
It's
England.
7. I think 7.
New England.
I'm sorry, they were 9.
Yeah.
They were 9, I think.
I think I read that it was like he's made it to more Super
Green Bay?
Bowls
Than everybody else.
except New England. Because I think New England had made one before he was there in general.
Broncos.
Really?
They lost 3. They've won. They've won.
4? I think
3.
or 3. They had
Peyton
2.
won 1, right?
Yeah, he got 1.
Peyton did win.
Did
And
Elway
Elway
only
won
got
2.
2?
They're 3
Yeah,
and 5
okay.
in the Super Bowl, I think, is what their record is. So they've got 8. So just Brady being to that many games, Zach, and then we're gonna, I know you'd like this. Is that with us talking about Brady, everyone's discussing that. Since he lost Super Bowl, then now LeBron's the that's the tie they're making. Is that now LeBron's the GOAT because Tom's GOAT because we allowed him to win, but they're not thinking Tom has 2 more Super Bowls than the next guy. LeBron doesn't have 2 more championships than the next guy. Tom it's just silly. He's been to he's never been a wild card team in his life. He's always been the division winner. This is
And
the first
then he
year,
was a wild
This is
card.
the first year he's been a wild card.
And just went on the road in every game and won.
Tough places to play.
It's
too.
been 10 years. Rodgers and Breeze has only won 1 NFC championship game each. Tom Brady now has 1 NFC championship game.
And he's been in the NFC 1 year.
Donovan McNabb was in 4 NFC championship games.
Only won 1.
One. Tom's won 1. And also what Tom did, he beat Drew Brees at home and Aaron Rodgers at home.
And Taylor Heineke at home.
Yeah, that I guess you want to count that one.
No, we don't. The only thing I'll say about winning at FedEx is that field is a crock of shit. So I'm glad nobody was tearing their feet and ankles off. So, jeez. That, like, the turf itself
When
is
you
a
don't even
crock
have a
of
name
shit.
for your team, the field's probably going to be crap.
All right. So
Well, the field's been crap for years.
I'm just playing.
I want to give a quick synopsis of the last time that I talked about this was Andre. Let's see what Zach remembers about this. Tampa was in the Super Bowl. Now, I remember watching this. I was in Boone
Oh, my goodness.
at a friend's house.
That was John Gruden.
Yes, it was.
We were all making sure the keg was working properly. Let's see if Zach remembers stuff. Zach, do you remember the starting wide receivers for the Oakland Raiders?
It was Jerry Rice and Tim Brown.
Yep. You know who the slot receiver was? Jerry Porter. Porter had the best day as far as receivers.
Now, Rice was about 42 at that time, I believe, wasn't he?
Rice had the most yards. He had 5 catches, 77 yards. Never mind, he had the most as receivers. 5 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown. Porter, 4 catches, 62 yards, and a touchdown. But Charlie Gardner led the team with the most catches, 7 catches. Gardner, though, led the team in rushing with 10.
That defense for
they only
Tampa
had
was
10
nasty.
yards rushing.
It was nasty. It was a good offense for the Raiders.
Rich Gannon threw how many picks?
In that game,
You remember? 5.
John
I do
Gruden.
remember now that you said that because it was they just that Tampa 2 just it eat them alive, and they had Sapp Sapp was a game changer at the nose tackle. Right
So
there.
Tim Brown is accusing Callahan of throwing the game,
Nah.
that he didn't like the Raiders and didn't want to be there. And he said on Friday they changed the game plan from a run-heavy game plan to a pass-heavy game plan, and that that was the reason for Barrett Robbins going off the deep end. It was because he couldn't make his calls. Is that Robbins told the coaches that he couldn't make his calls and get them set up with that quick of a time, and he got mad and it was a big argument, and that was what that was about. And Tim Brown agreed. Rice agreed with Brown. Of course, Callahan denied all of that, but that's their version of the story.
I just hope every time John Gruden sees Tony Dungy, he gives him a big old handshake.
And you
big
remember
ol'
this, but we
handshake.
had an opportunity to get Tony Dungy here before he went to Indianapolis.
How about on the defense for the Raiders, Zach, was both Woodsons. Charles and Rod Woodson was on that team. Romanowski was on that team. Anthony Dorsett was on that team. Tony's son was the starting safety.
Was Rondé there?
He was on.
Yeah, he was on.
He
the
was on
Bucs.
Tampa.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Rondé.
Yeah. He's really.
Rondé's about the only person that didn't get a pick in that
Think
game.
about it. Both them brothers got a Super Bowl ring. Rondé and Tiki.
And
Dwight Smith was the MVP, wasn't he, with the 2 interception touchdowns. Dexter Jackson had 2 picks as well. Derek Brooks had a pick and a touchdown. So they had
God,
3.
Derek Brooks.
They had
dude.
3.
he was nasty.
They had 3 pick six.
I mean, so you're gonna say,
I saw
okay,
Derek
so is it
Brooks
wrong?
in his later year, but he was still nasty.
Is it wrong
he's
to
absolutely
say
fantastic.
we don't want to run against that? No. I mean,
Warren Sapp could go down as probably one of the best DTs to ever play the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He is.
and that year, the Raiders were breaking they were kind of like the Rams were in that one. They were just throwing the ball all over the place. I think Rich Gannon might have been MVP that year.
he was.
I remember.
They
I
only
was
had
gonna say.
so they got 11 first downs to Tampa's 24.
I saw an interview with Warren Sapp. I think
Tampa
last
didn't have
week.
an offense, if you remember. I mean, they just didn't have an offense.
I saw an interview with Warren Sapp last week, or it was the week prior. I don't know, but as Shannon Sharp does his little thing, his Club Shay Shay or whatever. I'll just give that little throw out there. But that's where I saw it, and Shannon looked at Warren Sapp and said, "Who?" Essentially, I guess you could say he put it in like a Mount Rushmore kind of question, but he's like, "Who's your top 4, top 5 players in Miami history?" The U, because that's where Warren played. And when Warren heard that question, his eyes got so big and his mouth kind of dropped, and he said, "Man, you really gonna make me answer this question?" Because there's so much talent came out of that Miami group that he played with, but just Warren Sapp. When you sit there and think about him when he was at the professional game,
Sapp was a fat Aaron Donald.
that's exactly what he was. Dude, he was so big. You could just say this. He was probably the size. Who is someone I'm thinking about? You remember how Vince Wilfork was just always so damn big, but he was kind of lazy at the same time? Mm-hmm. That's like Warren Sapp's size, but he has Aaron Donald's work ethic.
6'2", 300 is what he's listed at. Michael Pittman in the game, 29 carries, 129 yards. I thought he should have got the MVP. He didn't get a touchdown, so they didn't give it to him. They gave it to the guy who had 2 picks and 2 touchdowns.
I can't disagree with that. 2 picks, 2 touchdowns, pretty impressive.
Yeah, but I still think without those 2 picks and 2 touchdowns, the score is still they win by 20. That's the only other thing, Pittman, just he dominated that game. Super Bowl like MVPs are not often anywhere close to the best player on the team. It's somebody that had a big day. Larry Brown against the Steelers.
Maybe the kick returner for the
kick returner for the damn Packers. You talk about the Jets. They got the worst record over the last decade in the AFC East at 68-92. I don't know. All right, couple of other things I wanted to point out on Super Bowl numbers. Let's see if you guys can go with this one. I got a little trivia for you. Only 9 players have won the Super Bowl and the MVP in the same season. No one has done it. All of them, let me put it this way, were in the 1900s.
What was the question?
I mean,
what was the statement?
3,
9 players have won the
4,
MVP and
5,
Super Bowl,
6.
I believe it was.
Uh-huh.
In the
9
same season.
times has MVP won the Super Bowl, and it hasn't happened in the 2000s. The last time it happened was in the 1900s, the very last year.
Terrell Davis.
Nope.
Wait, you said it was the last year?
Maybe he didn't win
in
this-
'99?
He didn't win MVP.
Only one running back's ever done it.
It was Emmett.
Emmitt's the only running back that's ever been MVP and win a Super Bowl. And he led
So
league
the rest
rushing
of them,
that
I
year.
would have to guess, are quarterbacks. Not many times was the
6.
MVP given out. Well, I'm trying to think who else would be MVP.
They
A
didn't give
wide
Ray Lewis
receiver.
MVP the year that he won it.
There's 6 quarterbacks,
Uh-huh.
1 running back, 1 defensive player, and then I'm not going to tell you the other one. He's special.
Okay, so let's just get a big name out of the way. Is one of them Joe Montana?
Yes.
Okay. Is one of them Jerry Rice?
No.
Okay.
Did he win an MVP?
That ain't good, y'all.
Oh my goodness, we just had a huge crash out here. I hope that didn't hit up in here. Ladies and gentlemen, probably watching this live. We can't make this up. We just had screeching tires happen outside, police sirens, and it sounds like
What
someone
the
just got
freak?
smashed into. Calvin, are you playing that? What am I hearing right now?
I don't know.
What am I hearing?
What the?
That has to be Calvin that's doing that.
Yeah.
Because nobody's just outside doing that. I don't quite understand. I think that's coming from the production room. My gosh, Kevin and Zach popped up so fast. He got you. God dang it. Holy shit. Yeah, it sounded really real.
It's Daddy.
But I knew as soon as it kept doing it over and over.
Okay,
and
you heard it
I'm
again.
like,
I heard it
somebody
again.
else
I heard it
We had to hear
again.
the
And
same
I was
time.
like, wait a minute. What is this noise?
That's so loud. Just turn it down. We thought that was a real wreck. They're recording in the
Damn.
next room over, and they got.
Oh my God, y'all popped up fucking fast as shit.
It sounded bad, but see, here's the thing: is that there's wrecks out here all the time,
right.
Because everybody's stopping
Yeah.
at this animal hospital,
Yeah.
and the hill's right there,
Yep. Or pulling out.
right? so
Jeez.
so we thought, oh god, jeez. I mean, that was loud. That was really loud. That's funny. All right.
Oh my God. All right,
you guess-
back to where we were.
Did you guess anybody while I was gone?
No. No, my brain was on something else. I was like, wait a minute, what just happened?
All
If
right.
it's a defensive guy, that kind of throws it way up there. Is it?
One defense, 6 quarterbacks, Emmitt Smith, and another guy.
Well, Joe Montana was one of
Yes,
them.
yes.
We got that out of the way. Defensively,
All right, how about this? Who else won 4 Super Bowls?
was it Terry Bradshaw?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's one. Terry.
Another 49er.
Steve Young.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, that's about all the hints I'm going to give you. Come on. Defensive player, Zach. MVP and Super Bowl. This ain't hard.
Lawrence Taylor?
Yeah. All right. We're down to 3 more.
Okay.
One was in the 60s.
Oh, well.
One in the early 80s. And one was the last one to do it. In the last year of the millennium.
Early 80s, you're looking at Redskins.
Getting warm.
Was it Doug Williams?
No.
It would have been before him.
Redskins MVP. Come on. We talk about it all the time on the show. Shh. You talk about it all the time on the show. Who's he wanting?
Hey, what's that?
Zach. Oh, why
Yeah.
didn't he just walk in here? You'll play.
Hold on a second.
Shit. Anyway, Hunter.
My mind is blank.
Groceries.
Kurt Warner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was the last one to do it, was Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner was the last one in 99. The first one was in 1966, Bart Starr.
Okay.
Okay? The one you're missing is a Redskin. 1982, the kicker.
God dang it.
Out of all people,
Mark Mosley, 82 MVP. The kicker was the MVP, Tanner. Mark Mosley, the kicker from the Redskins.
How does the kicker get MVP?
Well, first of all, it was a strike year. So the real players only played a couple of games. So he crossed the line and stayed the whole year and set the NFL record for points, and they won the Super Bowl. So the kicker, Tanner, when somebody says, well, Cam Newton won MVP or Matt Ryan won MVP, what you say is, well, in 1982, the kicker for the Redskins won it. And they ain't even got a team or a name, and the kicker won it. What did he get you to do? Say, oh, shit, there's a wreck outside? Like, come on.
No.
He played that as loud as could, but to get you, he's ever going. Instead of just yell.
So we got the kicker down.
Yeah. All right, I'll read them to you. 66, first one's Bart Starr. Terry Bradshaw in 78. Mosley in 82. Lawrence Taylor, 86. Joe Montana, 89. Emmitt Smith, 93. Steve Young, 94. Favre, 96. And Warner in 1999. We haven't had a MVP win a Super Bowl in 20 years.
I know it's close. Like last year, I almost slipped up and said, "Well, that's missing Patrick Mahomes," but he won MVP the year prior.
Who won it this year?
The MVP hasn't been announced yet, but it's probably going to be Aaron Rodgers. So even then, if that's the case, he's not winning the Super Bowl. I'll tell you what, though. What if they pulled a rabbit out of a hat somewhere, and they put Tom Brady as the MVP?
How is he not the MVP? Because think about
well, if you want to put it into a whole perspective,
it is a regular season MVP.
Yes,
but again, he threw 40 touchdowns.
Yep. He did,
and was it 8 picks?
He was the first quarterback at 40+ years old to throw 40 touchdowns.
He changes to a team and they make the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron
without
Rodgers,
a training camp.
Without a training camp. Aaron Rodgers has been on the same team for 10 years and hasn't made the Super Bowl in 10 years. So, how valuable is Rodgers? And then if you say Mahomes, I'm like, well, they made it last year.
Right.
So, obviously, they're good enough to make it again. Mm-hmm. And the Bucs weren't. And now the Bucs are there.
Were 7-9 last year. Now they went, 12-4? Or 11-5, one of the two.
See, I thought it'd be Steelers sitting in this spot with, they were both at 7, 9, 8, and 8 and sitting there.
Right.
They get a Hall of Fame quarterback. But the thing about it is, Brady hadn't played better than Roethlisberger did. How many picks Brady throw in the last game?
He threw 3 in the last game.
In the first game, how many yards did he throw for?
Only 190.
$190. So is either one of those situations beating the Chiefs?
No.
If he throws 3 picks
if
for
he plays
190?
like that, no.
It's going. They're going to have to wind up. It's going to have to be. And I don't think it'll happen. I just don't think they can. But remember the Rams Patriots game where everybody.
I thought you were going to say Rams
It was
Titans.
like 17-3.
Yeah, it was.
defense.
It was awful. Yeah. And,
Rams Titans did the same thing back when in the early 2000s. Remember the greatest show on turf?
When
they only won was 13-6, 14-6, something low score.
You're talking about
I'm looking right here. I can tell you.
Major, the best offense ever up to that time.
23-16. They only got 23 points and best offense there. It was averaging like 40 something. So yeah. I mean, I could make the argument for Brady on this. Definitely.
Well, he's got the better defense between the two
by 1 point a game.
I know, barely. And technically, statistically, he's got the better offense
by 1 point a game.
By 1.5.
And two, to be fair to Kansas City's defense, how many times is Mahomes scoring and giving them back the ball too? So so I'd like to see time of possession
quickly.
I bet the Kansas City's on the field a lot more.
Probably, but I think the X factor in this game. Now, of course, we're not going to do any pick, but this is just off the top of my head. Me sitting here thinking about it. We're talking about Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. I think the chess match is going to be Andy Reid versus Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator for the Buccaneers, because he dialed up a great game plan against Aaron Rodgers. He has to hope it comes out and combats Andy Reid's play calling for this Kansas City offense. It's easy for us to just sit here and say it's going to be Mahomes and Brady. That's easy. That's just low-hanging fruit. But if you want to look a little bit deeper, I think it's going to be Todd Bowles and that defense against Andy Reid and his
part
offense.
Of all that. Mahomes is excellent against the pass rush. I mean, against the blitz, excuse me. And Bowles likes the blitz. So there's going to be they're going to have to figure something out because he is laser on a blitz.
He should be a little bit more healthy too. With 2 weeks in between his last game, I think he'll be able to move a lot better than what he already was with a toe injury. So I don't know. I'm going to be excited to watch this game. And I'll put it this way: it could be a blowout on one side, or I could see it being very close.
Right. But
Like,
Brady
I don't think there's an
Brady
in-between.
can't throw for $190 and win this game.
No, and he can't throw for three picks. No.
He probably can't throw one pick, to be honest, in
No.
this game. Baker Mayfield threw one pick, and they had a chance to win, but Mahomes wasn't playing in the second half. So you can't turn it over against them. And I'm afraid of two things. One, that Chiefs might just blow them out. Brady don't have a great game.
I think that is the only scenario I see a blowout.
It could be the same, the reverse of the Bucks Raiders, where it's 48-24 or something, and you're just like,
Be a Denver, Washington,
right. But here's the problem with the Chiefs.
Super Bowl.
They're missing both their tackles.
Yeah, both of them for against a
A
heavy
good rush
blitz.
defense.
Yes,
A good blitz and rush and quarterback pressure and defense. So, with that said,
I think more times than not,
gives
this
it
is going. I think this is going to be close, but it could be a blowout.
yeah, I don't know if they can blow them out now because of those two tackles. When Dallas lost their left tackle, like all hell broke loose as far as Dalton and Dak.
Right.
And they just lost their left tackle. They'd already had the right miss, and now combine that with the fact that Mahomes is gimpy.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes has a concussion, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks win. I don't think that I'll see a Bucks blowout, but
No.
But the Chiefs aren't coming into this game healthy. They're not coming in 100%. And
I still don't
and the
know
Bucks seem to me
100% though about the Bucks secondary. They played last game without both safeties. One of them was hurt prior to the game. Maybe, obviously, with the time in between, he could get healthy. And then the other safety was playing and got injured with a shoulder injury. So the back end, that's what you don't want to hear, is my secondary is hurt against probably the best receiving core, or arguably the best receiving core in the league. You don't really want to hear that, especially because I don't think a team out there, a defensive coordinator, is going to sit there and can say with confidence, my cornerback is one-on-one with Tyreek Hill.
Well,
There's
no,
no
they don't want
way
that.
in hell. You got to have that safety over the top somehow.
And you can play them. Again, you can play, against. You can play man to man, but if your guys pressure the quarterback and make him throw the damn ball, but if he stands back there and throws it, you can't guard that at all.
I think that is the matchup that we have to watch is offensive play calling by Andy Reid, especially with them not having both tackles. He's probably going to get the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands fast if they're throwing it. Hell, they might even try to run the ball a little bit more than usual because Edwards-Helaire is a little bit healthier now too.
Yeah, and they were saying Le'Veon was going to definitely play, which he ain't done that great.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I'm surprised they really haven't used Le'Veon as much as they have. I know they got toys all over the place on the outside and Patrick Mahomes, but I mean, Le'Veon can still play.
I don't like how he runs.
He goes to the line of scrimmage and just kind of
puts his hand on the back of a lineman and then just kind of, it's weird. All right.
He's patient.
You got it, guys. Zach, you got any more comments about this game? I mean, before, of course, we're going to talk about it more next week before I go anymore. All right, I wanted to point out and talk about real quick before we go on to the other sports. These are draft positions by quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. I wanted to look and see how many Super Bowls did not feature a first-round drafted quarterback. Now, with that said, Brady's been to 10. So he's got an opportunity to be some of these guys. So he's going to have 3 or 4 of them, I think. I think there's 9 of the
6th-round pick.
I think 9 of the 55 did not have a first-round quarterback. Okay? So we're going to go through them real quick. 2018. Somebody count with these, okay? Foles and Brady.
Neither one of them.
2015. Russell Wilson and Brady.
Neither one of them.
Then you got to go all the way back to 2004. Zach, Panthers Super Bowl. Dale Holm and Brady. So that's what, 3?
Yeah.
Hunter?
We're at 3 right now.
We're at 3. 2003, the year before, was Brad Johnson and Rich Gannon. Brad Johnson was drafted in the 9th round. That does not exist anymore.
So there's 4.
The year before that, 2002. So we had 3 straight years, and that was Brady and Kurt Warner.
So there's 5.
Okay. So then the next one. So if I said Brady and Kurt Warner, you would like first round picks, right?
You think?
The year before was Trent Dilfer and Kerry Collins. They were picked 5th and 6th. So Hunter, think about your quarterback draft this year. Washington and Panthers sitting there. You could either pick Trent Dilfer and Kerry Collins in the first round, or Brady and Kurt Warner not drafted or in the 6th round.
One was bagging groceries, so I think we need to be going to the grocery stores.
All right, let's find the next one on the list. Now, it's going to be a while for this because all these old guys were first round. There's only a few that's first versus first, though. Not many. How about 1983? Joe Theismann drafted in the 4th round against David Woodley, who was drafted in the 8th.
So there's 6.
1982, Joe Montana versus Ken Anderson, both 3rd round picks.
7.
I skipped 89, Montana versus Boomer Esiason. Esiason was in the 2nd round.
There's 8.
Let's see. Then we're back to there. 10th. 1977, Ken Stabler and Fred Tarkenton.
9.
And the last one on the list was the 10th out of 55 Super Bowls. Bart Starr and Daryl LaMonica. Listen to the rounds they were drafted in. Now, remember, this is the 2nd year of the league, so they had to get more players. Bart Starr was drafted in the 17th round. Daryl LaMonica was drafted in the 24th round.
Now there's only 7.
Now there's only 7. Bart Starr won the first 2 Super Bowls as the 17th round, 200th pick overall. Won the first 2 Super Bowls. Len Dawson lost the first Super Bowl. He was drafted first round, 5th pick overall by the Steelers, then traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. So there's you some Super Bowl quarterback drafting history when you're thinking about it coming this year. Like, man, we need a first round quarterback, or do we or don't we? And it's fun to look at it. The ones that didn't, ones that win it or didn't win it as far as not number ones and stuff, it's we could talk about this list all freaking day long probably and go through that. All right, Frank Wright was in the 3rd round. If anybody's wondering.
Head coach, the Indianapolis Colts.
He had one of the greatest comebacks of all time.
He had the greatest comeback of all time. All right, let's real quick. We're gonna take a few minutes on this. Hunter, in 2021, nobody makes the Baseball Hall of Fame.
That's
bullshit.
That's unbelievable.
That's
I thought about y'all as soon as
bullshit.
it come across the
And
thing
you-
yesterday.
and
I
you-
was like,
and
are
you
you
know-
kidding me?
And do you know what that really does for my mindset?
It
It
devalues
and delegitimizes the Baseball Hall of Fame to me. And the voting process. And the voting process. Like,
Because regardless if it's steroid guys, I'm telling you, we've talked about this till we're blue in the face. Those guys without steroids would have still been.
there's
These guys would have
there's
been in the Hall
no
of Fame.
sense that Barry Bonds was still under 70% for voting. I know, what do you have to get? At least 75?
70, it might be 75. Because
Hold on. I got it right here. I'll tell you.
71 is where Schilling finished
Yeah,
up.
I was going to say Schilling
He said
was
take me
close.
off the ballot next year. He said, I'm done.
Really?
He said, I don't think I'm a Hall of Famer anyway. He said he really doesn't care about their opinions anyway.
Here's the final, pulling up the votes for you guys to look at there. I got to run down.
Well, it shows how political it is when Pete Rose is not in the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds not in the Hall of Fame. As much as I hated Barry Bonds, he's a Hall of Famer
Right.
So there's your
because I was a Griffey guy.
voting percentages.
Those were the ones that actually had numbers next to them. Because there were some that had 0% and they won't be on the ballot again because they didn't get at least 5%. That's what I read. If you don't have at least 5%, you were taken off the ballot. There are going to be multiple ones that'll be taken off. And I'm just sitting here looking at this. The fact that Barry Bonds was at 61% I'm at a loss for words.
I mean, Schilling Hall of Famer. We done this before. Barry Bonds Hall of Famer. Clemens Hall of Famer. Scott Rowland, that's an opinion thing. I don't think so.
I think everybody beneath the top. I
Sheffield.
think everybody beneath the top 3 is an opinion, but
I love Sheffield. I've always liked Sheffield.
Actually, there's 2 on that list that I don't like.
You don't like Sheffield, do you?
I like him. Well, Sheffield's good. Billy Wagner and Jeff Kent.
Yeah, Jeff Kent for me is a no-no.
Jeff
I
Kent was
can't
never
get
one of
Omar Vizquel in my mind for some reason.
Cleveland Indian shortstop. He won like 10 Gold Gloves too. He was like Ozzie Smith light. So if you want to put in the second or third best defensive shortstop ever, that's pretty much the choice on him. Scott Rowland might be the best third baseman, all-around third baseman ever. Besides when A-Rod moved up, if A-Rod doesn't move to
he was
third,
a Cardinal, wasn't he? Was Rowland a Cardinal?
He started off in the Phillies, then he played with the Cardinals. Scott Rowland defensively may be the best defensive third baseman there's ever been. Go ahead and click off of me and put it on R4 real quick because I'm gonna look up some stats.
If I'm not mistaken as well, I think Manny Ramirez was just under 30% voting as well.
Oh, they didn't put that up there, man. He didn't get it.
He didn't get in. He didn't even get over, I believe, 30% of his votes.
So if you obviously, so Schilling at 71, Bond 61, Clemens 61. That's the exact same voters if they're both 61%. Roland, Vizquel, Wagner, Todd Helton. My God, they
one of the best Rockies.
Isn't it weird they hold that stadium against those boys?
Yeah, Manny Ramirez.
Nobody else.
28%. He got 28% votes.
Like Boston, the monster in Boston is 250 feet away, and we don't put an asterisk on those home runs. But by God, if Todd Helton hits one 400 feet in Colorado, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, well, get out of here. In the Yankee short porch, we're going to start taking away those home runs from their left-handed hitters?
They're the ones that got less than 0%. No, less than 5%. I'm sorry. That was because that's like the cutoff for you to even be able to remain
Get back on next year.
Yes. Aramis Ramirez, LaTroy Hawkins, Barry Zito, AJ Burnett, Michael Cuddyer, Dan Heron, Kadire, Michael Kadire. Okay, got it.
I'm getting it for our listeners.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I see now why it's pronounced that way. Nick Swisher. I'm fine with that one, to be honest. And Shane Victorino.
Who the hell put Nick Swisher on the ballot?
I know. I'm fine.
How did he even get on the ballot?
250.
Hey, are you on the Crest Hall of Fame ballot?
Nick Swisher.
That's basically what they did with Nick Swisher.
Hey, he won a World Series. There you go.
So I'm going to go down the list. All right, here's what I think about these guys, and y'all can tell me what you think.
Sammy Sosa only got 17%.
Kurt Schilling is a fringe Hall of Famer for me. Looking at his stats, he only won 20 games 3 times in his 20-something seasons.
How many strikeouts?
He didn't start getting good, 3,000. He didn't start getting good, though, Zach, until his 30s.
Yeah.
So if we're putting 2 and 2 together, and you're not getting good until you're 32, why are you? He might have been
one of the ones that benefited from the steroids.
He said I meant to text y'all yesterday. The greatest thing in Twitter history happened yesterday. Jose Canseco going at Kurt Schilling.
Oh, my goodness.
And Kurt Schilling going back at Jose. Jose said Kurt Schilling making the Hall of Fame would be a disgrace to the game. Kurt Schilling came back at him and said, nothing that I could ever do would be as big a disgrace as you were to baseball. Now, wait a minute.
That's awesome.
Jose hit 400-something home runs. How many people went 40-40? 2? Him and Bonds?
He was the first.
Has it been anybody? Is it Bonds? Anybody else?
I don't think so. That's funny.
And so, but like really, like if Schilling's point is, but Kurt, they're keeping you out too for some of the same reasons. Maybe some people think he took steroids. He says he didn't, but he didn't start getting good till he was 32 again. And
technically, peak prime for a male is in their 30s, early 30s.
And he might have figured out.
He might have figured it out.
Play.
I don't know because if there's no hard evidence against him, then I'm not going to be the one that just points fingers, but. The one that, think about it. Those top 3 guys, Rogers, Bonds, and Schillings, have been 9 years on the ballot, and there's no sense that not a single one of them has got in, especially Barry. That 100% to me, the fact that he didn't make it, and as a matter of fact, nobody made it this year, I can't take Baseball Hall of Fame voting seriously now. I just can't.
With Bonds and Clemens over a 15-year time span, you're talking about arguably the best hitter and arguably the best pitcher in that time.
Because how I want to put it is this: I don't really like the NBA Hall of Fame voting because we've talked about it. It kind of anybody just gets in. Sometimes
it's basketball Hall of Fame. It's not NBA.
Yeah. Okay. True. That's basketball Hall of Fame. Because it's not you look at it and you're like, okay, anybody can kind of get in there. The criteria, and where I give a lot of respect to the NFL is, listen, you mean to tell me NFL players probably weren't taking these at some point? But they're not. But they're not looking at that. They're not keeping those players out if they had any inkling or idea that they were. There is no quote unquote steroid era of the NFL. We still letting guys get in that way. I just don't understand where baseball looks at this. And there wasn't really a rule at the time about it.
None of them have actually been suspended or broken a baseball rule.
Exactly. And it wasn't until now, obviously, the newer era of baseball, obviously kind of 90s and early 2000s, when they started implementing rules against steroids or certain supplements.
This would be like
so
saying
when you look at this, it's like
doubles are illegal now. And so everyone who hit a double before this should have been kicked out of the league.
yeah, exactly. Steroids. Actually, when was the steroid rule in place? Because
It was 2000 something.
I
It was
about to
after
say,
Bonds was out, I think.
Because even then, with Bonds, there was nothing against it. That's what I have a problem
Nick
with.
Swisher on the ballot needs not to have every chance to do that ever again.
So Kurt Schilling, listen to this. This is what's suspicious about Schilling. All right. So in his 20s, the most strikeouts he had was 185. All right. The most wins he had was 16. He turns 30, 319 strikeouts. 140 more strikeouts he ever had in his career. The next year, 300.
I got you. It's right here. Steroids made it to the banned substance list in 91. However, the major league players did not begin testing for it in 2003.
So Schilling never had 200 strikeouts before the age of 30. Then he had 5 years in his 30s of 200 strikeouts or more. In fact, 3 of them were 300. One of them was 293. So he upped his strikeouts in his 30s by basically 75 to 125 a year from the time he turned 30. Looking over at Jose, Zach, there's only 4 people in the history of baseball that's done 40-40. Can y'all name those?
How many? 4?
4 people have done
Barry.
40-40. And they are all modern, so it shouldn't be that hard.
Is Barry.
Yes.
Is Jose on that list?
Yeah, he's the first.
Okay, so there's 2.
Yeah.
So now we just need 2
And
more.
we know it's after him because he was first.
Yeah, Jose's first,
Jose,
Barry
Barry.
Bonds, and then 2 newer guys than that.
Mike Trout didn't do it, did he?
Fuck no.
I better say. I did that for shits and giggles. I knew I needed your reaction.
I'm
to
going to
that.
read you Jose Canseco's stats one year, and if Mike Trout did this, ESPN would just shut down and just build him a golden statue
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So 40-40. Ah, that's tough.
They both start with A.
Is it Alex Rodriguez?
Yes.
Okay. To me, one of the best baseball players of all time. So if he
Look,
didn't get in, they could suck mine.
Honestly, if you're having an argument about it, if you don't say Bonds, you could say A-Rod, and I wouldn't have a problem. Because the dude played infield.
Yeah.
Like that right there, the fact he played
two positions
major league,
in the
he
infield.
could play major league shortstop and hit 600 home runs. I don't think you get better than that.
Let's say he was only known as a third baseman when he got to New York.
Bonds was standing in left field with a strawberry basket of a glove, trying to catch ball. His glove was as big as Tanner over here.
God, like, he's big, and when he was out in left, he's a big man though.
But it was Canseco, Rodriguez, Barry Bonds, and in 2006, Washington Nationals.
Vlad?
No, because with an A.
Oh, you said A.
You think of him as on another team though.
I do.
Yeah, you when I say his name, you're like Nationals.
Andre.
Alfonso Soriano.
Oh, okay.
So Canseco, A-Rod, Bonds, and Soriano.
I about said
Schilling ain't on any list that includes 4 players, much less 4 that are that good.
Right.
The only list he's getting on is who had ketchup on their sock during a baseball game. Although you might find 4 of those guys.
Was it ketchup?
That's what some people say.
Was it ketchup?
What some people say. All right, Hunter, if this was Mike Trout's stats,
Yeah.
I'm going to read them to you. 307, 42 homers, 124 RBIs, 40 stolen bases, 128 strikeouts. That's Jose's MVP season. He won an MVP, Kurt Schilling. You didn't win an MVP.
Right.
He's 40-40. Just because they hit home runs off you, I don't know. But I don't know if Jose disgraced baseball the way people act like he did. People are mad because he's the one that snitched on everybody.
Yeah. I'm just looking at this list, and I'm telling you, I don't know how serious I can take this voting if they don't let those top 3 in. I just don't. Because isn't this the last year that they can be on that ballot? Or is it next year?
They got one more. They got one more, and Zach
And I mean,
pointed out,
Schilling
look
at it.
Schilling asked not to be on it,
Yeah.
and to send him straight to the Veterans Committee is what he asked.
Shoot, I would.
Because he said the baseball writers are aren't don't like him, whatever, and it has nothing to do with that.
Well, if I was Barry Bonds, I would do the same thing. I mean, look at this. Barry Bonds only got 60, technically rounded up 62%.
At least
votes.
Bonds and Clemens is tied to steroids. Schilling is tied to him being a Republican.
Yep.
That's true. He was. What was
That's
he
not
running?
even
What was
clo-
he running for? Governor?
I
or
don't
something?
know. That's not even close to fair though, as far as what that has to do with baseball. So, and he was a supporter of the last president as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that they're not letting him in because of that. Scott Rowland's at 53%. I'm just, man, if you're going by position, and again, this is the whole DH thing. If you're going to let Edgar Martinez in, I don't see how you don't let Scott Rowland in. Scott Rowland, 300 home runs, batted .280, 8-time Gold Glove, 7-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, won a World Series. Just some years: 31, 110, 290. His best year was 315. People was like, well, that's not a lot. Well, Mike Trout's best year is 326. And Gold Glove defense. Here's the home run. Here's his years: 21 and 90, 30 and 110, 25 and 70, 25 and 90, 25 and 100, 30 and 100, 28 and 100, 34 and 100, 25 and 95. And so I
don't know. I'm just looking at this, and
he might be on the Mount Rushmore of third baseman.
what's going to be so tough that
they're going to say you're not in the Hall of Fame.
What's going to be so tough is they're going to probably keep out Sosa and Ramirez because of that.
Yeah.
They'll keep both of them out. And Ramirez was phenomenal. I loved watching Manny growing up. I thought he was fantastic. And he's not even a big dude either.
I think Manny's the second best right-handed hitter I've seen behind Pujols. Manny could hit. And what I mean by hitter, like say A-Rod hits Bond, what A-Rod does is different. His swing is completely different than Pujols and Manny. They get doubles, and they're trying to. I mean, A-Rod's got just such a long.
It's a weird swing. It
doesn't look right.
It looks like he's swinging slow.
Right, he's so big. It's a weird.
I was about
It's
to
like
say,
almost like Frank Thomas type of a swing.
When
where-
he got to New York and the weight started to kind of actually show on him, I feel like his back got slower.
yeah,
But he still had all the power in the world. Because when he was with Texas and originally with Seattle, he was a lot thinner.
Oh, when
he was
tiny.
super athletic though,
Tall and
super
skinny.
athletic. But now, I mean, or not now, obviously. But when he was with the Yankees, obviously you could say it was towards his later years. But the weight kind of just started to hang on him. You could just see it when he would walk.
yeah.
But I'm telling you, man, he towered over Jeter. Towered. That's a big man.
Yeah,
and
Jeter gets
because
100% of the vote.
Yeah. Now listen, I'm gonna tell you what.
Yeah.
They're probably what we're talking about right now. It's gonna piss me off even more whenever they do it to A-Rod when he's up for ballot. You know they're gonna do it.
He's going to be the same as these other guys.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You know they're gonna do it
I think they're gonna let him in
because it's A-Rod.
because he's pretty.
That's what I meant.
Our
That's
wor-
what I meant by because it's
Our
A-Rod.
world is celebrity driven. A lot of people like A-Rod. He played for the Yankees. He dates J-Lo. I mean, he even though he had an affair with Jose Canseco's wife with J-Lo, that ain't got nothing to do with it. But people like him for stuff like that. Here's one, Zach. If I told you that you're going to play 17 years in the big leagues, hit 434 home runs, you're going to win 10 World Series. I mean, not 10 World Series, 10 Gold Gloves, and an All-Star 5 times. Should you be in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
10 Gold Gloves, 430 home runs. Andrew Jones, ladies and gentlemen.
And I'm a big guy on the
I was
Gold
looking at
Gloves.
his
That's
name.
what I like.
I was looking at his name the whole time. People forget he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But when it was towards his later years, he did dive off
He
a
did.
cliff,
He
and
could-
he
he could've
struck.
broke out of a barn.
God Almighty, he would strike out a ton. When
230 batting average or
he ended
something.
up on the Yankees, that's when I was like, oh God,
The Rangers was bad.
what's happening?
After he left the Atlanta, he played for 4 teams, and he was awful on all of them.
All of them.
He only hit 300 one
At
time
one
in his
time.
in his whole career. Though.
At one time, he was the youngest player in the MLB to have a World Series championship. I think Juan Soto beat him out when he won it with the Nationals.
Was he on the 96 team? It don't say that he won the World Series.
Oh, it didn't?
He played in it. And
He
got
played
beat.
in it.
He was the youngest to play in it.
Youngest to play in it. That's what it was.
They got
Never
beat
mind.
by the Yankees.
Never mind. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, he was the youngest to do
I
that.
thought he'd won it too. I just looked and it didn't list it. And I'm like, well, they must
forgot.
Have been on the losing
It was
team
like-
on that one.
He was a part of the Braves organization, but I don't think he was a big leaguer till 97, and they had won it in 95.
I mean, just listen to his home run totals after starting in year 3: 31, 26, 36, 34, 35, 36, 29, 51, 41. All of those are better, if not the same, as Mike Trout every year. He's the MVP. They're saying he's the greatest. But because, again, this is what they do, Hunter, it's that old war of the walks.
He struck out a lot. Andrew Jones just struck out.
Andrew Jones struck out like Trout does. 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 straight 100 strikeout seasons. But he didn't walk much at all.
It's crazy to think Atlanta had both the Jones brothers at one point, and they just didn't do anything for that one time, that small time period. They got their World Series in 95. They even had the 2 Jones boys. They had Javi Lopez as the catcher. John Smoltz was still there, and they just didn't do anything with it.
So, looking at his 2 best years, his best year, what I think, is 303, 36, 104 RBIs, 21 stolen bases. He finished 8th that year in MVP. The year he hit 51 homers, 128 RBIs, but he only batted 263. He finished 2nd. So, like, even they don't care about batting average anymore at all.
No.
Just swing away, boys. And then finally, I wanted to look at Todd Helton's real quick for a minute. He batted 300. 8, 9, 10 straight years, 12 times. 5-time All-Star, 3 times Gold Glove, won the batting title. In 2000, he came in 5th in the MVP. Listen to what he led the league in, coming in 5th. Hits, doubles, RBI, batting average, on base, slugging, OPS, total bases. And he came in 5th in the MVP in 2000.
Who won the MVP in 2000?
Let's see if I click on it. Jason Giambi. Oh, nationally, Jeff Kent. Over Barry Bonds. Think about the voters, Zach. You want to know why Bonds ain't in the Hall of Fame? Jeff Kent got MVP over Bonds on the same damn team.
Jeff Kent got 32% votes right now, and he's on his 8th year on the ballot.
That's awful.
That year, Bonds had the most WAR for a batter. Randy Johnson had the most WAR for a pitcher that year.
Barry
Randy
Bonds
Johnson
is the number one, and I'm not a WAR statistic guy, but he's number 1 WAR all time. He's at like 160. Trout's only at like 77, so eat that one.
So Bonds
160?
Bonds had 49 homers, Jeff Kent 33. Jeff Kent batted 330, Bonds 306. OPS, Bonds had a better OPS, on base percentage, though. Walked more. Same number of stolen bases. Jeff Kent had 50 more hits than Bonds.
As long as Barry Bonds is left out of the Baseball Hall of Fame, I want nothing to do with it. I don't recognize it. I just don't recognize it as being legitimate.
Jim Edmonds was 4th that year.
He was pretty good at that time.
I mean, I want you to think about that. That would be like leaving out Drew Brees of the NFL Hall of Fame. And I'm not making it because of steroids. I'm just saying Drew Brees is the all-time passing leader in NFL history. I mean,
no Pete Rose, no Barry Bonds.
No Pete Rose, no Barry. I mean, I'm just sitting here and I'm like, how do you really think someone would be able to leave out Drew Brees like that? No. Then why are we leaving out Barry and Pete? Especially Pete Rose. But I've argued right here and said I had no problem. I would let all of them use steroids today. I really don't care.
I believe if Bonds didn't use steroids, he would have
still been a Hall of Famer.
Legitimately been as batting average and home runs on the level with Griffey. You know, in the 600, 5 to 600 range. I mean, he was hitting doubles, yes, but he was a good ball player.
I do not hold steroids to such a taboo like some people do. You know what I'm saying? I just don't.
I just hate it for Pete Rose.
And because to me, I'm looking at it like, if it's available and some people had the opportunity to take it and the other people had the same opportunity to take it, they just decided not to, well, that's on you.
Yeah.
That's on you. You knew it was there. You just chose not to take it. That's on you. That's my whole outlook on it. That's kind of like For me, I have no problem with them with if Major League Baseball, NFL, especially the NFL and even the NBA looked into HGH for recovery purposes. I'm not saying just HGH to juice everybody up so they freaking walking around like jacked up horses out there. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about for the recovery purposes of it, because that it's very helpful in that regard as well if you do a little bit of studying on it. But where I'm going though with like the steroids thing, me and you, Zach, say or I'll just say this: me and Tanner, about the same size. Let's just say I've always been a better hitter than Tanner, and Tanner decides to take steroids. That doesn't mean he's going to be any better of a hitter.
Me and Kevin's talked about this before. Hand-eye coordination is going to be
See,
there.
and that's what I argue.
We went doubles to home runs.
That's what I argue. It's the hand-eye coordination. Just because Tanner say you would take steroids, but I had better hand-eye coordination, say you put on 5 to 10 pounds, well, that ain't helping you if you ain't hitting the ball. You know what I'm saying? It ain't helping if you ain't hitting the ball. It wouldn't help me. It would help me if I was hitting the ball. But you got to hit it in the first. You got to be able to hit it in the first place.
I ain't seen Lou Ferrigno or Arnold Schwarzenegger hit a ball yet, Zach. Or The Rock.
Nope.
I ain't seen Andre the Giant hit one. I don't know. He did take steroids. What if they gave those to
My
him?
gosh.
Like, golly.
I just,
He's
King
already
Kong.
huge.
I just don't hold it to the taboo that certain people do, because if you have a God-given ability and a God-given talent, then you're going to excel. If you don't have it, just because you take steroids, guess what? You're just going to get kind of big, but it's not helping you change your talent.
Right. Okay. Let's talk a little basketball. I've put together a fun little board over here, and then I've also got kind of things. I just watching, just what are we going to talk about basketball? I like talking about old guys, comparing things.
Well, I don't.
And
I'm just kidding.
and the reason I was thinking about this, there was talking about guys in the NBA. That I was watching this thing on YouTube, talking about guys in the NBA. And let's compare them to somebody in the past. So let's do our best comparisons and see what we can do.
Well, we do. People do comps and everything.
So I want you guys to think about somebody today, and me and Zach's going to try to give you guys some comps. I'm going to start, with Luka Doncic and see what Zach says. And I like doing if this guy, and I know this is kind of sound weird when I say it out loud, I like doing if this guy had a baby with this guy. You get what I'm saying?
I'm not doing it like
You
that.
get what I'm saying?
I'm not doing it like that. I'll just give you a straight comp.
You get what I'm saying?
But I'm not doing, well, he's a mixture of such and such and such and such,
So-
had a baby.
So Luka Doncic. I'm going to start with Luka Doncic. Zach, if Magic Johnson
That's what I first
and,
got that I thought.
and Larry Bird,
I said Magic and
The only
Dirk.
person I thought of
I
was
had
Larry.
Magic and Dirk in my head.
if
so
Magic and Bird had a baby,
not far off.
Listen, the only person I thought of was Bird, because I'm not doing your
I
whole
thought Magic.
mixing baby.
But he
I thought Magic.
but he can dribble. But he can dribble. Bird was a great passer, but he can dribble better than Bird.
yeah,
But
he's a
he-
better shooter.
So
maybe not
the
than
comp
Bird,
people were
but-
trying to make on the internet was Bird mixed with LeBron, and I'm like, no. He doesn't dunk like LeBron.
And he doesn't
dunks.
go through
Magic
the
didn't
lane
dunk
and stuff like that.
It's Magic was slower than the guys guarding him, and it seems Luka is slower than everybody guarding him, but he still balls on him.
And Dirk was slower than
Everybody that guarded him.
he just
For
looked
the
like he's in
well,
slow
not in his
motion.
younger years. In his younger years, he was athletic.
If you think about it, what
When he got
Luka-
to 30,
what
yeah, he
Luka
got-
does great
He's 7 foot.
is Luka dictates the game to his speed. Like you said, he might not be as fast as the guys in front of him, but he's not letting them speed him up.
So that shows how much footwork is important because whether or not you're not going to be faster or stronger than everybody. And Jordan realized that once he got 30 is the footwork thing. Same thing with Kobe. And Elijah, you can get open on your pivot foot without even moving. There was one I saw Garnett do somebody and they were breaking it down. And it was just sick. Like he stood in the same spot. And it was Carmelo did one like that too, and that makes it makes a big difference is your footwork. Let's see. That's what I want to start there. One of the other ones was Giannis they were talking about, and I'm just trying to think. To me, Zach, he's almost like
I had Pippen in mind.
I tell you who I had Pippen and Garnett, and if you look at Garnett's numbers, they're almost exactly the same as Giannis's across the board. Garnett's 7'2". Now Giannis dribbles the ball better than Garnett, but the 3-point numbers are the same percentage wise. Everybody's talking about Giannis needs to get better at the three. Well, maybe Giannis just needs to get better in the post. Because a lot of people, Shaq says he's me. I'm like, he ain't that big and he ain't that. He is. That's not going to happen. He's got to put on 50 pounds.
He's
to get to Shaq.
you at
That's
LSU.
Not, right.
He's you. He's probably
That's
you.
right. You're
He's
right.
you at Orlando.
There's videos of Shaq dribbling court to court.
Yeah. When he was young, he was athletic, but once he got to 30, look, all the 7-footers, once they get to 30, that's why it drives me crazy, Hunter, with Bobo not getting to play. Mm-hmm. Every minute they waste of his youth is a minute they're not going to get in the 30s. You're not going to get it. As soon as they turn 30 to 7-footers, something happens to them. And so,
you know, I look at Giannis's athleticism, and if I have to compare him to anybody, I would pull Stoudemire out of somewhere. Amari. Amari was an athletic freak.
He was.
He was never known, obviously, for being a jump shooter. He could run with it. He could dribble it if he needed to. To me, I see a little bit of Amari Stoudemire in Giannis.
Amari and Garnett's pretty much the same thing. For some reason, a lot of people
maybe even a Ben Simmons.
But for some reason, a lot of people want to put Garnett in a 3-point. Like, he stood out and shot threes, and he was a stretch. I'm like, when I look at his stats, he really wasn't. He shot 28%. Him and Giannis both shoot 28%.
Dude, I don't know who's saying that because nowhere in my mind, if you say Kevin Garnett, do I think stretch four.
Garnett had a decent mid-range jump shot. He would pull up with you, in the foul line range. He could shoot that shot.
So here's Garnett in his prime. I'm gonna do these couple years. Let's do this, see if it'll do it. I'm giving you 4, 8, 9 years. His last 9 years in Minnesota. 22, 13, and 5. That's Giannis numbers. And we talked before about Giannis's numbers are compared to Barkley's too. But Barkley's, the bodies aren't even close to the same thing. Yeah, it's not even comparable. Zach, who do you compare? Who's LeBron to? If two guys had a baby. Magic and Karl Malone.
That's exactly the two I was thinking. That's exactly the two I was thinking. He had, the body of Karl, bigger. I don't think he's bigger. I think he's more cut. Mm-hmm. Karl was cut, so I can't say
Karl
that.
Was
I think that's the two I had in my mind.
Okay. All right, Tanner, you got anything you want to ask someone? You don't have to look at anything on them. You don't know what's going on over there yet. Just somebody in today's game, and because they were talking about, have we seen these guys before? Have we seen these players before? What have we seen before, and what have we not seen? Have we ever seen an hour? Are we going to see another Allen Iverson?
I think Trae Young's close.
Are we going to see? No.
I'm telling you, ball handling skills.
I'm telling you, just from seeing Iverson.
But I watched Iverson.
He's a killer.
Iverson's his game speed was a different level. He was just, oh my God.
That crossover, he even got Jordan on the crossover.
That's young Iverson,
that's
too.
Cute,
really
too.
young.
I mean, like when I go to the park, somebody crossed me over, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, but it wasn't even that bad, though. He didn't make him Jordan fall. He just
kind of made him.
He just bit, and he got past him.
And that goes how many points Jordan had in that game.
He probably got
Everybody's like, hey, he crossed him over. Well, Jordan probably got 40.
He pissed him off. He did.
Yeah. So
he pissed him off, and he knew it.
Iverson, I'm trying to unstoppable going to the basket. Put it this way, he was Kyrie going to the basket. Fat, a little bit quicker. The 3-point, I would say he's really close to Kyrie, but more doggier.
I could say Kyrie is a mix of Allen Iverson and Ray Allen when he was young in Milwaukee. Because Kyrie can shoot the 3. And that's what Ray Allen became in his later years.
That's one thing. It's hard when you're doing them is the 3 is because everybody concentrates on it now so much.
Nobody really concentrated on the 3 back in the day.
What about James Harden, Zach? Fat Ginobili?
Left-handed. I couldn't tell you who I think James Harden is. I can't.
I'm trying to think of somebody that just stands there and dribbles all day long.
That's hard to choose him.
It's just because James Harden has such a skill set. Like as much as I don't like his game, I have to give credit where credit's due. The man can just score with the best of them. I just don't know. I can't pick somebody out and say that's who he is.
You just mentioned Trae Young. I think he's trying to be a Curry. I think that's a lot of kids are going to try to do that. And
I think when you're that size, you kind of have to.
you see a lot of
He's not big.
So you see a lot of impressions of people. So like Trae Young's a Curry impression. Dame Lillard's a close Curry impression, but he's not Curry. That's the level. Like, so people want to talk about Jordan. I'm like, all right, so let's take Jordan and Dominique, then take Curry and Dame Lillard. Is that fair? Of almost the same player, but for some reason one of them wins every time and the other one doesn't.
I think it's got a lot to do with the
Mental aspect of it. Of
Dominique never had that killer.
yeah.
I mean, he was good.
Okay, speaking of that, all right, so I want to touch on some of that a little bit, see, kind of talk about a little bit of that, the guys today, and kind of what they compare to. I put together my Mount Rushmores of basketball, and I've got them by position. It's point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center, and then I've got a miscellaneous group, and then I may have forgot somebody. I don't know. This is kind of just off the top of my head real quick.
Right.
Okay? So I'm going to go down some of these and see what you guys say. I tell you what, I can turn the camera a little bit. Is what I can do. I tell you what, Zach, while I work on that camera, if you'll read across the boards in the blue by each position who I got.
In the point guard, Magic, Steph Curry, Isaiah Thomas, Oscar Robertson. Shooting guard, Jordan, Kobe, Wade, Jerry West. Small forward, Larry Bird, LeBron, Kevin Durant, Dr. J. Power forward, Moses Malone. Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Garnett. Centers, Hakeem, Russell, Kareem, Wilt, and I'm going to say honorable mentions maybe. Robinson, Duncan, Shaq, Iverson.
Those are my miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous. Okay.
That's your bench players coming up.
Not necessarily. So, oh shit! I stepped on my phone. Somebody was on the ground.
Somebody play the car crash.
Yeah, there it is. I busted my ass here on the floor. Let me move this in a little bit. All right, there's the board. That's the best I can do for you right now. I'll figure it out in a second. All right, so here we go. Zach, point guards.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do the miscellaneous. David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Shaq, and Iverson. We'll talk about them for a second. These are the guys just on the outside in / I really think they need a mention in the history of the game / I don't know what to do with them. I don't think they can get on. That kind of stuff. If you ask any kid today, he's going to have Shaq on the list. I don't see how you list that you don't have Kareem, Wilt, and Russell, and then Akeem Olajuwon smoked Shaq. So anybody that I think, and Zach will tell you that watched them, I almost would put Akeem Olajuwon almost over anybody. If you went to a game against anybody, Zach, let's say you take Shaq, you're worried you're going to get out athletic, you're worried you're going to get out rebound, and you're worried you might get in foul trouble. But you're not worried about his free throw shooting at all. If you're playing Wilt, you're worried he's going to score on you. Russell is going to play defense. Kareem is going to throw the sky hook. But Akeem Olajuwon is the only one out of all of those that could probably guard all of them. Maybe Wilt. But Akeem would be the one I trust. So that has to be my 4 for centers. I don't see any other way around it. Shaq won, 4 titles? 3 almost Kobe?
I know he won 3, yeah.
Kobe won
he
2,
won 1 with Wade.
Kobe won 2 with freaking Pau Gasol and Andrew Bynum. Okay? So that just, to me, that takes him off that. Duncan, I don't know what position to put him at. Everybody in the world says he's a power forward, but he played center his whole career. If you're 7 foot and you play 99% of your game in the paint,
he don't make it.
Right, and that's why he's off the list.
He's not even close if he's the center.
Right, and that's why he wanted to call himself a power forward his whole career.
I understand.
Is because it is what Zach just said. He's not even close if he's a center.
If he's a power
he's
forward,
in top 10.
If he's a power forward, I put him ahead of Garnett.
But if you're playing basketball and you say,
I agree.
But if you're playing basketball, you got a 7-footer on the floor and he doesn't leave the paint, and all of his points are in the lane, and he blocks shots and he rebounds, He's not a stretch 4. He's not a 4. And he's 7 foot. And he's guarding the other team's 7-footer. He's not like he's guarding Barkley or whoever the small forward is over there. So I've always thought Duncan was mislabeled. That's why I don't have him on the list with power forwards right now. And so we'll get to that in a second. And that's I'm really iffy on that. So the 2 guards, I went Jordan, Kobe, D Wade, and Jerry West. Zach?
Top 3 is there. West, I mean, you can't argue against him, so I don't have a problem with the list. I would have to think of who I would put it for if it wasn't West, you know?
Right. Is that a Clyde Drexler? Is that
I would put Reggie over Clyde.
Is that a Reggie Miller? I think Clyde's better.
Do you?
Yeah, I like Clyde. I think Clyde's. I think they won that championship. Jordan wasn't alive. Clyde might be talking about that. Small forward: Larry Bird, LeBron, Kevin Durant, and Dr. J. My question with Dr. J, Zach, was I was going to ask you: is there a guy in the NBA now taking that spot, or going to take it, or should even Dominique have that spot instead of Dr. J?
But you got Dominique. And you got Pippen too, but I still think
if Dominique's on that team instead of Pippen, they still win the same number of championships, right? I think.
Oh, you talking about the Bulls?
Yeah,
yeah. It's hard. It's a little bit hard though because Pippen being facilitator and defense.
Right, but Dominique's better than him.
He's going to put you third. Could they coexist? Michael and
who? Dominique. Yeah, maybe.
It'd be an interesting thing. I don't have a problem with Dominique being there. Dr. J is just before my time, so I can't say a whole lot. I've never really watched him. I think your dad would speak highly of him.
There's a jersey right behind your head that says Dr. J.
I actually bought that one for you.
Oh, you did bought that for Dad?
I bought you for Christmas.
That's for Dad.
Huh?
That's Dad's Dr. J.
Is it? I thought I bought you a
mine.
Dr. J. Maybe not.
That was Dad's.
Maybe I got that for Christmas for him then. I bought a Dr. J jersey.
For somebody.
Yeah, I remember buying it.
All right, Hunter. So far on our first 3 positions, any thoughts, changes, nominees? Point guard, I got Magic, Steph, Isaiah, and Oscar. Isaiah's won 2 championships. Oscar set every record there was. Steph's the greatest shooter. He's got 2 titles, MVPs. 3 titles, MVPs.
You still got Stockton.
Magic's got 5. Stockton is off the list because, he doesn't have a championship. Isaiah's got 2 in the same era.
Yeah, I ain't gonna disagree with you.
Hunter? Steve Nash, has he got a case?
Yeah, I had Nash on my brain down there.
But
there.
Like if you look at Nash at the point guards though, Steph's
Can't
won a
guard
title.
nobody.
Isaiah's won 2. Oscar Robertson, you're not putting Nash over Oscar. So Nash, 2-time MVP, gets an honorable mention, I think. And Stockton and Chris Paul are my honorable mentions as well. But
the
none of
only
them,
thing is holding Chris Paul back to championship.
he ain't even been to a conference championship.
If Chris Paul won a championship, you could argue him being probably the 2nd or 3rd best point guard of all time. But he doesn't have a chip.
But of those 4, how would you put him ahead of any of those? I know you didn't see Isaiah play, but he was Isaiah. He's Chris Paul before Chris Paul was there, and he won 2. And you can't say he wasn't the best player on those teams.
I think he falls in without the threes, the Steph range.
Who?
Because of his size and stuff.
Who?
Isaiah.
Okay.
He's quick.
Right. Yeah.
Very quick.
He's probably the best small point. That's why I've got him on there. I mean, again, he won 2 titles. This is like, is there a point guard in the league that's really quick and don't shoot threes right now? And leading his team to 2 championships based on defense the rest of the team?
And Isaiah's
think
time
about
in
that.
defense of him, they had just, the 3-point line hadn't been in existence long.
Yeah, 5 years, 3 years. Well, actually, he played without it in college probably. Small forwards, Bird, LeBron, Durant, Dr. J. We talked about that. Now, power forwards, here's where it all gets damn crazy. Do you go by people who call themselves power forwards? Do you go by a specific set of skill sets as a power forward? Do you go by height? Do you if you're 7 foot, you're not a power forward? Do you go where do you use as what is the forward position?
Garnett kind of falls in the same thing with Duncan. Excuse me, he's the opposite of Duncan. I misspoke. He's bigger, but he never played the center position really. He was a power forward. I'm definitely on the dirt bandwagon on that. Barkley is my number 1. Reason I'm saying Barkley is my number 1, and it's a weird reason. It's because of the dream team
leading both teams in scoring.
What are you going to say about that? Malone didn't do it.
No.
You know, so I and then a lot of people's going to disagree. I hate Draymond's not up there.
God almighty.
I saw some
That was
bad.
enough.
I saw some bad stats the other day, and I was looking at him, and I was
He's
like,
like 7, 7,
"Fuck,
7
he's
this year.
awful. Oh, it's worse than that. It's 4. He's averaging 4 points a game, Zach.
Trash.
And he's starting. Hunter, Bobo can't sniff a fucking minute in Denver.
And Draymond is getting at least like
Like,
20
why don't they
plus.
trade him? Why does Denver not? Please, God, trade him. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I never will. It just drives me effing nuts that he's sitting over there, and just play him.
We have people in today's time that put Draymond over Barkley there, so we just
Yeah.
want to say,
Yeah,
there we go.
Terry. Dirk's 6th all-time leading scorer. He won a championship, and he beat LeBron head-to-head. Barkley didn't win a championship. Almost had a run at Jordan. Was an MVP.
Dirk beat him by himself.
Yeah, pretty much. Karl Malone didn't win a championship, but he's second all-time leading scorer. And then you've got Garnett there. I think he gets underestimated he was the first kind of
High school
tweener. I can play.
Oh.
I'm from high school. I can play anywhere from small forward to center. I can play 7-footers. I can play whatever. And then he won a title in Boston. So I don't think Paul Pierce wins it without him coming over there. And then
No.
obviously Ray Allen.
Absolutely not.
So
I don't think any of them win it without each other.
right. That's just, I don't know. So basically, then I had David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Shaq, and Iverson on the outside. Any other honorable mentions? I'm more than happy to.
They're more on
I
the
just
young.
ran out of room there.
They would be more up to date on the younger generation who you could throw in.
Well, I try to name a few people that's going to have a chance here at some point. Like
I mean, we got KD up there.
Like, how
LeBron, but-
does Giannis's career go? We got Steph too. Like I
Yeah, we do have
I put a
Steph.
bunch
Yeah,
of people that are
he's
still playing right now. It's just some of them.
The only one that I have a question about, and it's just only because it's just however you classify Duncan, and that's over
Right.
Garnett. That would be it.
Oh yeah,
if you want to put him at power forward and say that, then I would take the argument based on accomplishments.
That's it. 5 rings.
he's going to top.
I mean, honestly, those actors are playing 1-on-1. Who you putting your money on though? Garnett could dribble better than Duncan.
Duncan was very mechanical.
Right.
Dude, he's fundamentally sound. That's why they call him the big fundamental.
But it's different when there's a 7-footer
might have had
guard. When there's a 7-footer
I think
guard.
he had good. I think he had good footwork,
Yeah, he was fantastic.
but
Yeah.
I just think he was stiff.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way I can describe him.
100% agree. How about the all-time stud team, Zach? Like the Shaq, like Wilt, and they're losers. Say so. LeBron would be on the team, and Wilt Chamberlain would be the center, and just like
Karl Malone's gonna be your power
Karl
forward.
Malone's your power
Or
forward,
even Barkley.
There's your forwards.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, what was Wilt? 1-9 or 1-8 in the finals, something like that.
you shooting guard. I mean, you gonna put Reggie up there or Clyde?
I don't.
They didn't either one win nothing. They're stuck. Barkley and Malone was stuck in the Jordan era.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you beg to differ. Would Hakeem even got it if Jordan plays?
It would have been a good game. It would have been a good matchup series. I believe. Put it this way. Hakeem and Jordan and Luke Longley swept Shaq in back-to-back years. Shaq got swept by Luke Longley and Hakeem in back-to-back years. That's all you need to know about Shaq. And I'm like,
Little penny.
he got swept by Luke Longley.
Little penny.
The most dominant force of all time. Well, you got swept by Luke Longley. And Hakeem spanked that ass. All right, LaMelo, who you want to compare him to? Lonzo?
Trash can.
They're talking about trading Lonzo now.
Yeah.
Borrego said that if you have 5 turnovers and don't guard nobody, you're not going to play for him.
I
Talking
agree.
about LaMelo.
Just give us Cole Anthony.
What they
Jeez.
should have took to begin with.
He fell to 13th or 14th.
Yeah.
Cole Anthony wasn't picked for a solid
Crazy.
13, 15 round picks.
I saw a good comparison. I was trying to think of who LaMelo.
Well, going on the Lonzo thing, Golden State's interested. Trading
You
Kelly
can tell who
Oubre.
Alonzo is? He's Kendall Marshall.
Kinda. I like Kendall Marshall.
I like Kendall Marshall, but
I think
he can't shoot. He can only throw a long pass.
That is a good kind of comparison, Kendall Marshall.
Kendall Marshall throw a pass
That
from one end to the
I thought it was
other.
Kendall about 6'4".
I can
But he's
argue
pretty
to
kinda
this
tall,
day,
isn't
Kendall Marshall doesn't break his hand. That UNC team
agree.
wins the national championship.
He's a facilitator.
Absolutely.
Well, he led the league in assists NBA and then got cut the next year.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was number one in the NBA in assists and got cut. Like how does that happen? I guess if you don't guard anybody, LaMelo, Zach, they were like Magic, and I'm like, shut up.
No.
Is if the best case scenario, you see if you can follow me, is let's say Jalen Rose.
Yeah,
Is that a fair thought comparison on
very
that?
fair.
I was
Jalen had a good career.
I wasn't even going to give Jalen Rose. I was going to say at best Sean Livingston.
Well,
Yeah, that's fair.
And Sean Livingston was a good player. There was nothing wrong with Sean
He got hurt. He's
Livingston.
blew that knee out.
Now when he blew his knee out, it was a completely different story. I'm just saying,
Jalen
Sean
was very
Livingston
good with Indiana.
at his size. I'm looking at Lonzo's size because he is 6'7". We can't take that away from him. He is a big guy, like not like pure muscle wise, but he's tall. All right, he's got length to him. That's how Sean Livingston was. Sean Livingston, point guard, was more of a facilitator. The only difference was Sean Livingston actually developed a three-point shot. If Lonzo can develop his three-point shot a little bit more than what it is now, there you go. That's him. That's Sean Livingston.
There's one up here, too. I know we're on another subject, but he would have to be at least down there as Gary Payton.
The glove.
he's probably in the top. He's probably in the top 10. I think he's second
Listen,
or third
man.
in steals and assists.
In the
Defense good.
words of Michael Jackson,
He's like second in assists, too.
in the words of Michael Jordan, I had no problem with the glove. In the words of Michael Jordan, I had no problem with the glove.
Gonna be something.
In the words of Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're black or white.
Nah.
If you
I'm
want to be my
done.
lover, Hunter, it does not matter if you're black or white. Gary Payton is 10th all-time assist. Isaiah 9, LeBron 8, Chris Paul 7, Oscar 6, Magic 5, Mark Jackson 4, Steve Nash 3, Jason Kidd 2, and John Stockton. Kidd was on my
Yeah, kid's good, but he just one-dimensional.
right. Jalen Rose career Zach 14-4-4. That sounds a lot like Alonzo's numbers. Alonzo's rebounding really decent right now, and I think that was. And I mentioned Hunter, if he's getting 7 rebounds off the bench at point guard, he's not guarding anybody. I think that was the point Borrego was making the other night, was that if he's going to go 2 for 7 from 3, 5 turnovers, not guard anybody, he's not helping us out here. Jalen Rose's best year was 24 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. So that's Jalen Rose. He had 4 years in the 20s.
Yeah, he was
is what Rose got.
second best player of the Fab Five.
Is he a 6'7"?
What'd you say?
Second best player of the Fab
Well, I
Five.
thought you said the best player. I was like, we're acting like Chris
Second
Webber
best.
wasn't a thing.
Second best.
Okay.
A lot of people say Weber on the power forward list too.
His days
Who
in
did Weber get
Sacramento.
traded for? At the beginning, was it Anthony Hardaway? Mm-hmm. That's what I thought.
What about LaMelo compared to White Chocolate? Jason Williams. But he's 6'7".
Jason Williams he had the passing
Jason Williams
skills.
was like a white Tim Hardaway.
Yeah, that's what I I
good
like the Livingston.
handles.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah,
That's what I thought. I thought because what I did with it, I just said off of pure size for his point guard position. That's what Sean Livingston was. People thought Sean Livingston was going to come in and be the next big thing because of his size and how he ran the point guard. And then, like you said, had the terrible knee injury and was never really the same after. Developed a shot.
Here's one, everybody. What Pete Maravich? That
Never saw him enough. I mean,
when I've seen highlights of Pete, it is Lonzo. Like he just
Lonzo or LaMelo?
LaMelo. He just both of them. Hell, it's the same
But
damn
yeah, they're
person.
player.
He dribbled down the court looking to make some crazy
Long
good
pass.
long pass, and somebody said that was what they said. If the Hornets should get Lonzo, and then the response was, "Oh God, that's Borrego's worst nightmare."
Well, I've already told you I don't think Borrego's the answer anyway, so they can get rid of him and LaMelo. I don't care.
It's not sounding like he's liking the LaMelo experience too much. I'm sure he doesn't appreciate his dad chiming in on anything on his coaching. He doesn't like Hunter asking him a question about coaching, much less
No.
What's the
Yeah,
player's,
he doesn't
what's the player's dad?
He doesn't
chiming
like
in?
me when I ask him about a coaching scenario at the end of the game that he botched. I'm sorry. Tobias Harris had 32 at the time. Didn't think about guarding him on the inbound. He said we were worried about Lou Williams. What? Lou had, he had 20, but Tobias Harris
Worried about
is
Lou
6'8" and had 32. He was torching you. That was I knew that was a dumb moment.
Well, the Hornets tonight face Indiana. And how about Sabonis this year? Have you seen his stats?
Arvidas?
His son. It's his son.
Was it really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Was it like
It's his son.
23?
He was nasty.
Was it 23,
He
8,
was
and
nasty.
6 or something like that?
He was a underappreciated.
He's averaging this year 20, 12, and 6.
Jeez.
6'11".
See, that could be.
I'm gonna tell you what, those numbers are gonna go up without Oladipo, and they got Karis LeVert through that trade, who just got that
He's-
mass taken
he's-
off of
he's
his
gonna be out for a while.
How does that not-
off his kidney. So
How does that not mess the trade up?
I
How do you
thought
not
so
feel
too. Like, how
I'm going
is
to take
that
a
not
physical. I got cancer.
You
Trade's
know
good.
why? Because they wanted James Harden in New Jersey.
That's crazy. Trade's good. He's got cancer.
Yeah.
It's
all right.
Sabonis last year, 18 and 12. This year he's bumped it up to 20 and 12. 3 years ago he was on. It was 14 and 9. That's when Hunter. He was on that Charlotte. He was in that Charlotte All-Star Weekend, and he
was in the skills challenge, wasn't he?
I think so. No, he was in the rookie. When was All-Star Weekend? Charlotte. Was that 19?
Must have been 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think
was it
so.
19?
Yeah.
I think he might have been on it that year, or well, he was in. I remember seeing him and just seeing how, like, thinking, man, he looks a little out of
Could have
place
been
out
last
here
year because Corona hadn't really hit to shut everything down either.
Listen, I don't
It was
know.
the year before last year, obviously.
Yeah.
because we didn't go to. it
I
last
think,
year.
but I think he's got a real opportunity to just blossom without Oladipo there to take some of the shots away from him. I think they still have T.J. Warren in Indiana. He likes to put up his fair number of shots too, but I mean, I just feel like this is when one star leaves, this is the opportunity for somebody else to emerge, and I think this is a good opportunity.
Is
for him.
Jokic a more advanced Arvidas Sabonis stack? Or what do you compare Jokic to? Like, first of all, it's hard because there's not been any 7-footers jacking up threes or shoot or getting 10 assists. So you have to kind of find maybe a center that passes. I thought Arvidas was pretty good at that, but looking at Arvidas' stats, he didn't really get that many assists. He was more out there for offense and to take fouls on Shaq when he's in the NBA.
He's a big guy.
Even in over yonder, he's 7'3".
Yeah.
His son's 6'11". There was one video of them. It showed him talking to his son, and they asked him their kids who their favorite player was. I think one of them said Michael Jordan. And
Whose kids was this? Arvidas?
yeah, Arvidas. He's not your Vitas. He's not my Vitas.
He's our Vitas.
He's our Vitas. You like that, Tanner? That's his nickname.
I got into a rap song.
Yeah, that should be the opening line of our show. All right,
Then you go into Rock Me Amadeus.
all right, Zach. The Hornets with their shiny new number 3 pick are now tied for 12th in the East. The good news is they're ahead of the Washington Wizards.
That's not hard.
And the other good news is Gordon Hayward's played well.
He has.
You got an all-star player on your hands in the East.
The Miami
All-star player.
Heat are 6-10.
Yeah,
They made the
Crazy.
they made the
LeBron got to
finals.
play them in the finals last year,
Yeah, they're 6-10.
and they're 6-10. They hadn't made any moves. Has anybody? Everybody's still there, right? The same group of
far as I
people.
know.
They hadn't changed anything.
They were part of one of the teams that were wanting to trade for James Harden. Mm-hmm. What I heard a few weeks ago is they were wanting to make a play at some point for Bradley Beal, and I'm all for it. You know, I'm a Washington fan, and I just seeing
ain't
him,
working.
just seeing the clip I saw on Twitter of him on the bench last night after dropping 33 and losing by double digits.
he got
He's
smoked.
just shaking his head, and he
Well,
looked,
y'all only got like 3 players on your roster right now.
oh, I know.
It's 4. Y'all got 4 good players. And
That's it.
And that's it. But
That's it.
Sad thing is, you got more good players in Charlotte.
Why
does.
don't we just go all in and try to get one of these guys? Hornets. We got an all-star player in Hayward.
The Hornets should try to get Beal.
Why
They really
not?
should. They should.
You
Yeah.
can trade us Terry Rozier.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, throw LaMelo in there
I'd
if you
do it.
want. I don't care.
Well, I'd want to get rid of LaMelo, but they wouldn't do it. It would have to be. It'd be like Rozier and Biyombo, like for the salaries, or maybe even Cody Zeller to get there.
Because to me,
But y'all need a draft pick. Y'all can't not.
no,
y'all
we
can't
need
not-
we need players.
Well,
You're right. We need,
Y'all
and
need
I agree with you. We
top
need like
five draft
a top five
picks.
draft.
You can't
pick
get rid of somebody who
and
scores
players.
30
No.
a game and not get
And
back.
because here's the thing,
something.
you got a guy that talented, and you're essentially committed to a rebuild right now. Like, if I was him, I would, like, if I was his agent, I would be telling him, we are in the owner's office every day, and we are absolutely bitching our tails off to get out of here.
You're in the era now where you can just go out and make a statement and you can get traded.
Because and I hate when that happens. I do, because I like for guys to at least try and fulfill a contract.
I do
But
too.
at the same time, this is just wasting him.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand. Now, if it was a winning situation, kind of like how I thought at least Houston could win with James Harden, then I'd be mad as
What
hell.
about this?
But this is not a winning situation for either team. So for Beal, it's just get me the hell out of Dodge. Sorry, Russ, you're just gonna have to do it on your own.
Will the Wizards take Bobo and 2 first-round picks for Bradley Beal?
Probably not.
I'm trying to figure out a team that needs a shooting guard that's contender. Portland don't. Clippers don't. Jazz don't.
Technically, right now, the Warriors do.
about Boston?
Technically, right now.
If Boston, I wasn't looking at the East.
Because
yet.
listen,
no, they got
because
shooting guard-
and
they got Tatum
this is the
Brown.
only reason why I
Tatum?
bring this up.
Oh, he's-
Golden State is actively
He kind of plays both.
because Golden State's actively shopping Oubre right now.
If I'm Golden State, you know I'm going after.
Who?
I don't know if you're ready for it, but I think it makes sense. They announced yesterday they were looking to trade him. Not Lonzo Ball, but JJ Redick.
That's who they're looking to do
If I'm
a package with Lonzo and JJ for Kelly Oubre. They would have to do
If I'm a
that.
championship team, I'm always looking at.
I don't
at
want
Redick.
Lonzo Ball at all. But if I'm the Warriors, I want Redick to fill that Klay Thompson spot in my offense. He can't play defense like him, but by God,
He shoots lights
that
out.
yes.
That's why I said if they had anything that they could offer up to the table, Oubre's contracted something else for Washington and Beal.
Anytime I played the NBA 2K, if I was building my team, I'd always go get JJ. You can
Just to
put
be-
him,
yeah.
You can put him on the wing out there, just kick it to him, shoot a 3.
Shouldn't the Bucks really think about putting together some type of an offer for Beal?
I think if they put an offer together that included Middleton
Yeah.
and like a
I-
pick
not
or
with them.
something.
I mean, they got to get to 3 people. I tell you who really needs him. I got you right now. Who needs a number 2 guy? Who, if they put him and Bill was either 1 or 2, they've got a 3 already there. They just need that 2 guy. Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah. What are they going to have to give up roster wise to get him? I mean,
Everybody but Luka and Porzingis, whatever the hell they want.
but they still got.
Think about Luka, Beal, and Porzingis
Mm-hmm.
is a tough 3. Porzingis can't be the 2 because he's not healthy enough.
No.
He's not there all the time.
Yeah.
But if you had somebody that was there every night like Beal,
Mm-hmm.
and then they both Bill and Luka's hard to deal with, and then you add that third piece when he's healthy, then they're a contender.
Listen, I'm going to tell you what. If I was Washington, and if I was any other team not named the LA team, I would try and make a play for Beal. And if I was Washington, I would listen to all suitors because
Here's what I
you've
do,
got
Bojo.
3 wins. Like you need. You
got 3 wins with 2 studs.
You need draft capital.
How about this?
I think Russ is a little ways on his way out. He's officially shot the same amount of shots as he scored points on the season. So,
How about this? Minnesota for Anthony Edwards in next year's first pick.
will they be bad anyway? So we'd get Anthony Edwards in a good pick next year. I mean, for us, if you're asking me just straight up Washington, I'm going to tell you we'll take it. I would take it,
talking about
but
with both
if
teams,
you're
yeah.
Minnesota, no, you're not taking that.
You're 4-12.
I know you're not
So
taking that.
you can wait on your rookie to get better, or you can put in Bill averaging 30 a game.
I don't know. It's just
And is Bill not what Anthony Edwards is supposed to be?
no, Beal is better than what Anthony Edwards is supposed
He's
to be.
number 1 pick.
I know that.
You can't be better than what the number 1 pick's supposed
Not
to be.
if you're.
Anthony Bennett sucked.
Right, number 1 pick's supposed to be ace of base. Bill was. Hornets missed him. Good job, Hornets.
Bradley Beal was what, third pick, fourth pick?
Yeah, we picked MKG
close.
ahead of Bill.
Third. He's close to
We
being
picked
number one.
MKG ahead of somebody that averages 30 points a game.
Yeah, but I want you to think about that. Anthony Davis
Stupid.
went number one that year, so
Yeah.
it's kind of tough. That's just Charlotte being stupid to me.
Right.
Bradley Beal, and it's the same thing that we talk about with why a trade for the number one pick in football for Deshaun Watson is great. It's the same thing here. You don't know what Anthony Edwards is going to be long term. You know what Bradley Beal is now. So, but I just don't know if
Mavericks
you're
right on the outside
Minnesota.
looking into the West.
Because I'll give
Phoenix
Anthony
don't need a
Edwards
shooting
some
guard.
credit. He's playing very good right now. Phoenix doesn't
How is
need him.
Memphis 7-6 right now? They're above 500 right now.
I like Ja. Obviously, I love
He
watching
hasn't been
Ja.
playing, though.
He's been hurt.
Yeah,
He
that's
had
what
an
I'm saying.
ankle.
Like, how are they?
I like Ja.
They're in the sixth seed right now.
And then they've got a guy that played at Michigan State that's really good too. I can't. God Almighty, what is his name?
Well, there's only 6 teams in the East above 500 right now.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what. A team that could really use Bradley Beal, and they're actually playing decent, would be the Knicks.
Yeah.
Because Bradley Beal has complained that Washington ain't playing no defense. They couldn't guard a parked car.
Do they trade him in the East? Is the question? on that.
I don't know about that, but
Do you really care though if you're 4-12?
You don't
no,
matter, do
you,
you?
you
Who
know,
the hell you
know
trade
him
you-
to? The best option
exactly.
you got.
You get what you can get, and I'm just saying that because the Knicks right now, or at least when we talked about it Monday, had the number one defense in the NBA. And now you're adding a guy that, right, if I'm not mistaken, is leading the league in scoring average. I think he's over 30. I mean, to me that looks like a match made in heaven. He could go along with a young Obi Toppin. Austin Rivers the other night was about unconscious from the 3-point line and from just being on the floor. So I don't know. There are many options, and Washington should listen to all of them. But I'm not trading him to either LA team unless they give me something substantial. Because even if they put a pick up, it's not going to be good enough. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be one of the later picks. If I trade him to a bottom feeder, then it's going to be one of the early picks, and then we'll be able to go from there. So I don't know. It's going to be weird. If I'm Miami, I at least inquire about it, because then you could put Jimmy as like a small 3 and still have Bam at the 4. You'd have Beal at the 2. And
Haslam still can play the center, right?
Hey, I don't know.
There are 9 teams.
You can put Dragic at the 1 and then flip flop whenever Hero and Duncan Robinson come in. I don't know. Like, I feel like Bradley Beal to the Heat would make them a whole lot more dangerous, because what helped them last year is Duncan Robinson and Hero and even Jay Crowder at the time. They were like unconscious from 3, especially Duncan Robinson. And Bradley Beal can really shoot the 3. I feel like I feel like that would be a great fit.
Waiting on
But I like the Mavericks think. I really do, just for that in the West.
Waiting on Udonis Haslam to be the best Heat player ever.
He's been there for so long. God almighty.
Didn't you retire him and Jordan's number?
Retire his number.
There are 9 teams in the East with a losing record right now. 9 teams in the East with a losing record. There's only 15
You can pretty much say the Nets are going to make the championship probably. I mean, they smoked Bucks the other day.
I don't think anybody can play with them in 7 games. It's just Bill's leading the NBA in scoring at 34. Durant's got 30. Lillard, Curry, Embiid, Brown, Luka Doncic, Giannis. Zach LaVine is tied with Giannis at 27 a game right now in Chicago. CJ McCollum, Trae Young, Kawhi, Jokic averaging a triple-double. No, not anymore. His assists have come down. 9.3. He's not any good anymore.
Not anymore.
The only person averaging 10 assists in the NBA is
Joker.
James Harden.
Sad.
No.
That only one person is averaging 10 assists in the NBA.
Luka
That
Doncic
is a
Luka Doncic is 9
travesty.
9.9.
I put that on the same level as baseball not playing small ball anymore.
We'll go all the way back. The latest I can go is 2001, 2002 season. I'll see what it says. They only had one player over 10, Zach. 20 years ago, Andre Miller. Jason Kidd, 9.9. It's almost the exact same stats. I had to look at the names to see if they traded. How about Baron Davis was 4th in that year? Let's go to 2010. 3 players with 10. Darren Williams, Steve Nash, and Chris Paul. Jason Kidd, 9. LeBron and Baron Davis. And Russell Westbrook, 8. So, yeah, all this passing, all this 3-point shooting. It's hard to pile up assists kicking out for 3 when they only make 4 out of if you make 4 out of 10 shots, I mean, or 2 out of 5, it means 3 times I pass it to you if you're open.
Right.
I'm not getting an assist. So that is a little bit different on that. All right, Hunter, have we missed anything you're talking? Zach, you ain't been here. Anything that we haven't talked about that you wanted to get into?
We'll just
finish up the show here.
We'll just go get Steph Curry and then offer him a ownership stake to come play for the Hornets.
Yeah, that is what he should do. Were you here last week for the new baseball team in Gastonia's name?
Yeah.
Okay, so we went over that. Wanted to make sure with you on that one. So you're in on the polecats, right?
I like the everything about that except for the name on the new team.
The Honey Hunters.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
It's just
great
weird.
looking, like great. The hats are going to be the outfits should be great.
They're hunting the
Jerseys.
honey from the. They're hunting the honey from the strip club.
Yeah, just put it out. Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Honestly, I would if they're smart, they would go ahead and make a deal with the establishment. We'll call it that, and be like, pregame meals at y'all's place on us. Right? You send the other team. We'll pay for you guys' lunch.
Yeah.
You guys like chicken wings, don't you?
Yeah.
You like chicken tenders, don't you? And fries? Well, I'll tell you what. When y'all get to the ballpark, we'll see you right down the street. Y'all can walk. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a harder walk back, but y'all can walk. And then come back.
Why not?
And then think about it, you're sitting in the outfield, and the only thing you're thinking about is
Chicken wings.
It's trashy Gastonia girls.
Only thing I want to end the show with that I want to make a comment on. We talked a little bit about baseball earlier.
Yeah.
And I know as much you hate war as much as I hate war.
War. What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing. In baseball and in life.
And
Go
my
ahead,
argument's
Zach,
going to be
I'm
this. Barry Bonds number 1 all time.
Yeah.
In war. 160, I think it was 160. Ken Griffey Jr. is like 83.
Mm-hmm.
Are you telling me that Bonds is
Twice as better as
no way? Because he don't put the defense out there. So yeah, that's your mindless stat of the day from
That was a hell of a rant. Good God.
that was
You
a
win.
mindless. The mindless. That was my rant for the day.
There you go.
You can't
that your defense didn't have anything to do with
your war. And Griffey's gonna go up and bash a home run
Dak
too.
Prescott's
Listen.
trending. What is that about?
I think he got a new TV deal or something with like a commercial.
Maybe it's for like Dr. Scholl's foot inserts.
Rams expected to have an open quarterback competition.
Oh, that's bad. There's a writing on the wall right there.
Well, I don't understand. I still don't understand why Dak's trending. It doesn't say. It's just people just talking about quarterback.
I saw Skip tweeted Dak Prescott just signed a new commercial deal. Me and Shannon debate on how that affects his negotiations.
Are you talking about this
with,
Bud Light deal?
I guess, yeah.
They even got a Dak Prescott Bud Light tap.
Look at that. It's going to be funny. They have to change it if he's not with Dallas.
I know.
They just paint over it.
Oh God.
But no shit. This is what television has come to. That's exactly what they were debating. Is how his new commercial deal affects his negotiations with Jerry. Oh, well, I didn't know a commercial had to do with how he damn played football.
The thing about the quarterback is
So I'm telling you, they come up with these. That's why you should stay here with Shock Jocks. It's because we don't talk about dumb shit.
Why would
and
Jerry
try and
pay-
turn it into a story?
why would he pay $35 million, $40 million for something he can get for 20?
I mean, we do talk about dumb shit sometimes.
got some
but,
dumb shit.
But I'm just saying, we don't try and twist that into a story. Kind of like the other day. And I'm not trying to get political with it, so I'm not
Dumb
gonna.
shit's our
I'm just
specialty,
I'm just saying. Skip, I saw it tweeted again because he does that every time before a segment's about to come up to see if you'll tune in to Undisputed. He tweeted out and said, "Me and Shannon are getting ready to debate how Tom Brady's MAGA hat makes you feel about him now." I'm like, who fucking cares? Oh, God. I thought that one was real again. I'll be honest. I didn't know. I didn't know that Calvin had walked back in there and was going to play those.
Wouldn't that be like
screeching
the
noises.
ironic?
Yeah, the ironic thing is that we have a real one when we walk
We just
outside.
like sitting out there.
Yeah,
like,
all
back
our
wheel.
cars are hit.
Just don't hit our cars.
Yeah.
Well, technically,
There's a wreck here once a month.
It has been recorded.
It is.
You
Oh,
two
it's
just
definitely recorded.
bolting.
we did take off.
But I don't know if it was loud enough for you to hear it on here through our
Loud as
microphones.
shit. I don't think they heard it on the microphones at all.
No.
Because yeah. All right.
I don't think anything crazy has happened since we've been on here for sports. Dak Prescott just trending because he's got a new freaking commercial deal. Cool. He's making a couple more $1 million that none of us are making. Cool.
that's it. All right, I'm gonna go through my stuff real quick. Finally, as one I can't share is a meme of Darth Vader. It's just Luke, help me take my mask off, and it's Luke sitting there with a N95 mask saying, "But you'll die." That's pretty good. I have to send that one to JP. I don't know if he'll get it or not, but whatever. Anything else, Zach? You missed? I mean, you know, I like to make sure I get you covered and everything you wanted to kind of talk about that.
I just like to tune in on Saturdays to watch Terry and Tom get into it.
Now this is a fun one. This ain't got nothing to do with sports, but deer hunters in America make up the largest standing army in the world.
Imagine.
If all the deer hunters united, there'd be 11.4 million deer hunters in the United States, and there's only the largest army is China with 2 million. Mm-hmm. So the deer hunters are 6 times bigger than China's army. It's a lot of deer shit. You hunt? No, a lot of them boys in the Cleveland College wanted to go hunting up around here, and that's what their biggest thing was trying to get to talk to the local guys that are hunters, and they thought that was the coolest thing. They just didn't like the going and sit out in the cold woods part of it. They thought, I don't know what they thought you could do, but
I fish more than I hunt.
so you a fisher?
Mm-hmm.
Fishing for ladies?
Oh,
Huh?
go
Is
down
that
to
what you're trying to say, Tanner?
Go down there to Gastonia.
I know.
No.
Take you to a polecat
Go
game.
to a honey hunters
Go see the
game.
polecats. It's funny. All right. Do anything else, guys, before we go out of here? I feel like I'm missing something.
Nope.
And every time y'all
Not
leave
for
here,
me.
I'm like, damn it, I forgot to mention something. All right, Hunter, we got to get your bag together and get you a headset, right?
Yeah.
Commercials and headset. All right, Tanner, play us away, man. You gotta go here.
Go ahead.
Get in there, hit that. There.
I gotta go try to get Judah a haircut.
The desktop's probably not playing, but we'll say goodbye to everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Kevin Hastings, Tanner Halbert, Zac Mayhue, Hunter Yancey. We'll be back Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Mitchum's Kitchen Breakfast, Forest City, Nissan, and Chrysler. KTC Broadcasting. See you guys Friday night for basketball on ktcbroadcasting.com.